like you got five-shot it. Did not miss. It didn't matter what. If he was no shields, you were getting 5. But anyways, falling. This is it. They've got to make this one work.
You get those shots. It's definitely going to have to be Talik, in my opinion, or Manny grabbing the sniper rifle. That could be big. That could be big, 90.
Could be.
I got no beat on. Roll for those. Pick up bomb. Oh, right there. Oh, phenomenal.
Subs 2 captures, now 84 points on the board. You're bound gonna play it slow.
Bottom sit down again. On the bridge right.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today we have the Open Cup. We have about 40 teams competing. I'm 99th, and this is the watch party. I have 2 guests today, some new casters with us. That is going to be Mr. Hops and Mr. Active. Hey guys, how's it going?
What's going on?
It's going good. How are you doing yourself?
Doing fantastic. Looking forward to these matches. There's going to be some good ones. We've already looked at the bracket a little bit, but there's some drama happening right now. We have currently on Twitter. I like to keep my ear to the ground, and I'm looking at my buddy Swish here, and we wanted to watch his game, but unfortunately, it looks like one of their fourths has possibly slept through their alarm and not shown up. It's Miss Audi. Miss Audi, they're like, where are you? And he needs a fourth, a sub. Have you guys ever been in that position?
Yeah, I mean, I've been there, quite a few times. Being an EU player myself last week, competing in the open circuit, I had that exact problem. A person just not turning up as the fourth, sleeping through their alarm. But I mean, we've all slept through our alarms before, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
But, to miss an opportunities like this, that's a bit painful, isn't it?
It Definitely is because, yeah, I mean, this was her shot, right, Tim? Like, I mean, she has been grinding. I know you probably haven't focused too much on her. You're big in the Halo 3 scene, but over here in Halo 5, Audi has been placing like top 3 in a lot of these 2v2 co-ed tournaments. She was in the grand finals. She was whooping up on some of the best pros to ever play the game. She's just a fabulous individual player. She's been looking for that time, and this was it, man. Tim, what are your emotions behind that?
That's rough because I really do feel like Halo 5 is like your chance to get in. I mean, with Infinite, it's really far away, but just getting your name in there and getting your name out there, definitely taking every chance that you have in order to do that is very important. And this is definitely a slip up. So interesting to see what our future is and what happens in the future.
Yeah, but we've got some good matches coming up. We wanted to watch that one, but we're just looking through the bracket here and just, trying to find what we can. It's early on in the Open Cup, and that's always going to be a little hectic for the admins. Shout out to Voodoo Man. Voodoo Man's taking over and just killing it with Face It. But we're going to load in, and the first series is going to be me and Hops. Active, we will see you after this one. But this is going to be on rig. Hops, give me a rundown of how the rig needs to be played. It looks like we're going to be playing Rig Slayer.
Rig Slayer, I believe should be Rig Stronghold. However,
is it Rig Stronghold? Okay,
I think it is Rig Stronghold. However, I mean, the Rig's a really interesting map. I mean, early iterations of how you played Rig Strongholds was definitely trying to hold that carbine and back rail side to keep control of the basement and nest setup. However, as the play style of each player developed, it made kind of the way you play a little bit faster, which allowed you to push for these triple caps and keep these kind of spawn traps going, which allowed then the points really to kind of scale out of control. However, it's going to be interesting to see whether these players go for like more of a setup role to keep that outside hold, or whether they're really just going to push for the kills and really dominate the side to get that triple cap.
I like how this guy's name is Tugger. Piggy's saying it's like he's the GOAT, I guess. This is just Tom The ogre, the greatest of all time. He is just playing this tournament incognito, but not really. Great railgun coverage right now out of him, and that is going to be a fresh 4 down for, I believe their team name is MichiLAN. That's going to be Condor, Fathomed, Midshot, and Voltshot. Mike Fathom. He's been a long-time competitor back in the early Halo 3 days. And then we've got No Shields, Precaution, Cycle, and Piggy Saiyan here. And they've got some good control starting this one off.
Yeah, I mean, getting 4 dead early on in this game isn't too much of a concern really on the rig. It's not like the Empire, where you get 4 dead and you're going to be on that spawn cycle pretty much for the rest of the game. It's quite difficult. However, on the rig, there are so many angles in which you can, let's say, spawn in the bunker and get away. However, it's so important to stay alive longer than they are right now, because right now, all the slays are going to the side of San Diego Fire. MichiLAN kind of need to really focus on staying alive off spawn, recuperating with their team, and then kind of pushing out and getting those strongholds, because right now, San Diego Fire just have them on this spawn trap, and yes, they can manically capture the basement like they have just done, but as we see here, No Shields just jumping straight into it and going to get that recap.
Right, they're not keeping up with the slays, and they're immediately going to just get 3 hopped on. That is never going to be what you're wanting to do, to just get those steals, right? You don't want to just walk away with an easy stronghold cap. This is going to be a huge camo. No Shields, going to jump out, taking some shots from his teammate. You never that when you have it's basically just asking for you to die, but that's okay, because they are so dominant right now. He's going to jump into the stronghold. He was able to get the reset.
Getting that reset is huge. Getting that reset is huge because it's allowed his teammates to kind of be able to turn around and get this laser. If Voltshot could have stayed alive, no, because then Connor would have been able to go and support him. However, Voltshot trading that is, trades are generally kind of okay when playing strongholds, but in that scenario, Voltshot really needs to stay alive and focus on keeping himself alive so that his teammates can come and support him. But you see here, right now, San Diego Fire just running away with it and actually holding this outside spawn like we talked about. We see now 2 players on the side of MichiLAN going for that nest control, but immediately they are cleaned out completely. It just looks like San Diego Fire is just playing so much faster than MichiLAN, and MichiLAN just don't have an answer right now.
Yeah, they're always the same points. Cycle gonna get that kill. He was No Shields from next back out. Gets a little extra damage there. He's a little too he just needed to stay back right there, can keep his life, regain his shields. You never want to thrust out when you're no shields. That's something that I've always learned early on. But they're doing so darn good right now. They're flying together, and excellent shots by Precaution. That was a very good win. And now he's going to get 3 damage into a player, into his back. That is going to be putting him to no shields. But the movement, oh,
how
baby.
Is he alive?
That was beautiful.
I mean, it really shows that it plays dividends into how good the Halo 5 movement is, and players able to get away. But once again, Piggy Saiyan with a fantastic 5 onto Mike Fathom, kind of getting control of this white corner, which is such a pivotal place to control. He turns around and does try and challenge Condor, but gets a help from his teammate No Shields. But we do see MichiLAN maybe going for that nest, but have left it. They haven't capped it fully. There's a bit of a choke on that cap, and it's going to allow a San Diego Fire even to get a reset. I mean, that was an opportunity for them to take control of this map.
Yeah, they just needed to stay in it. They needed to 3-hop it, and it would have been done instantly, and they could have flown out and gotten the team shot and maybe stayed alive.
Indeed. And
huge mistakes.
Yeah, the mistakes like that can't happen. That's 3 dead. Last person in the engine. Will Piggy be able to take him down? Yes, he is, just eventually, but still, I mean, all of them are coming off respawn once again. They're spawning on the carbine. You can see Piggy turning around immediately and being aware of those spawns, charging up the railgun just outside of E2, trying to look for that spawn kill. It just seems like MichiLAN cannot get a break, as it's already game over, 100 to 10.
Oh, man, you can't be any more dominant than that. I mean, that from the rip, the control was only in the hands of San Diego Fire. They did an incredible job at making sure they were on top of the camo. I don't think they ever let a camo go, so shout out to their coach, if there is a coach. If not, then whoever was, the in-game leader, making sure to always have that time on lock. That was just so one-sided. I'm really liking this San Diego Fire team. I know we've watched them in the past. Looking at those stats, though, tell me what you see.
I mean, the thing that stands out to me is just look at the assist difference here. I mean, when you're playing as a 4-stack, you've got to focus on getting the damage. Halo 5 is a game of damage. If you're doing more damage than the team, you're going to get more kills, and thus you're going to get more assists. If you, one person, two people is better, shooting at one person is better than just one. And you can see there, they are completely outslayed and out-assisted San Diego Fire. Oh, I mean, MichiLAN. And yeah, that's just... that in itself has won them the game. You cannot win a game if you're not going to team shoot. You cannot win a game individually trying to, use your individual skill to outslay everybody else on the opposition team.
Gosh, what a team shot from San Diego Fire. It's just insane how many different people were shooting everybody on MichiLAN. I think at one point we saw all 4 pistols just taking on players off of their spawn. And that is just one of the most frustrating things in Halo. We saw some good individual plays coming out of the players on MichiLAN, and they are very talented individually. I've seen these players play many a time, and we saw some of the movement where they were able to have good survivability, and that was impressive. Oh, this was the moment right here that possibly could have led to a massive comeback, getting that cap, getting some slays there. But it was like they didn't put any type of priority on slaying or priority on the objective.
Yeah, and Halo 5, the early iterations of Halo 5, there was a real problem with overslaying and not focusing on the objective enough. But at the same time, these guys, on the side of MichiLAN seem to just kind of trying to stockpile bases, panic capture them, without actually realizing that they have to get the slays in order to keep them. And that really let themselves down. But it's going to be interesting to see whether this Truth Slayer can be any difference, because it is such an emphasis on staying alive and team shotting.
Yeah, a complete turnaround. This definitely is a moment where they need to step up. Camo, I believe, got burned. There was the fight for it in the beginning. Cycle going to play super aggressive and fast, exactly what his teammate needed there to stay alive, saves his teammate, and now they're in an 8-2 lead. No shields with the perfect, onto mid shot, off the rip. Now this player has no clue where Cycle was coming from. Cycle has 2 targets in front of him. His teammates let that player go. I'm not sure if... Okay, Mike Fathom got away. No, Mike Fathom. I think it was Mike Fathom. He got taken out, so... But he lasted a while there. So, like I said, the survivability from MichiLAN is pretty darn decent. But San Diego Fire's teamwork is just way better. Yeah, they're just too fast. Those call-outs are so crisp, and you can just tell they're responding to call-outs. They're hitting those killing those no-shield players, and regardless of how good MichiLAN is at staying alive, and you just saw right there, Piggy saying going down to Mike Fathom, but he got that melee off, which made Mike Fathom one shot, and Syke was able to clear him up. Getting that damage down, regardless of your no shield, is going to help your team, especially when you're communicating so cleanly, like San Diego Fire must be. Cleanups from Volt Shot for the double. Now he's looking for the third player. Gets a little hectic there. Almost lands that grenade, but that was one of those moments where it's like you're looking for the montage clip, and it's like, no, dude, you're down 20-8. You need to calm down, get a little bit more discipline, start focusing on where they're spawning before you get any of those big clips. And the map control on this, on Truth, the remake of Midship, it's so complete. Once you get that control, that map positioning, it's just domination from there on out, and that's pretty much what we're witnessing from San Diego Fire right now. Good grenade placement from him. Now he's going to jump up. He is going to try to slay these players out of pink with help from his team. Going to get the double beat down. That's 3 dead for MichiLAN. What a play from No Shields. He kind of bait himself a little bit back to his own base, and then he would double back, went up to P3, got a kill straight into P2, and then cleaned up the P2, and that has led to San Diego Fire completely controlling the P side of the map after MichiLAN tried to four-man stack push this P side. And I think after every iteration of Truth, controlling this P side is the way forward of how you're going to win this game. Good job by No Shields, doing the damage, making sure to keep his life on pink, and doing all that he could. We're going to move on over to P Caution here. He's going to take over Pink. Excellent grenades. Going to take down Volt, landing
What
the
a
perfect awesome
perfect.
mid shot and getting the extra shot on the player across the map. The guy is just a turret at the moment. Killing spree out of him. Oh my God.
Does he
is
have a
on
laser
fire.
on this Magnum? Because I swear he is lasering across this map here. I mean, he's going to now have an opportunity to push in. He has to go below base. I mean, below base is a great
God.
position to be. And he,
That bank. He banked it off of the ceiling, landed right in that guy's lap. Oh my God. He is on fire. They are just like a wave, just washing over MichiLAN at the moment. This team shot came in, just annihilated that player, got deleted off the server. Here we go, taking out the rest of the players on Carbine. Now they're looking for the spawns. They're going to call out that they spawned at blue. Cycle does not need to take any extra damage here. When you're the player top middle, it always annoys me when you are the first player to take damage. You need to just wait for your team, wait for those shots to come in. You've got the advantage of the shield. Precaution with the camo here. That is just, that's the
game
end of the
over.
game. Yeah, that is game over. That is checkmate. You need to stay on top of these power weapons and these power-ups, and MichiLAN hasn't been doing that these past 2 games.
I don't think MichiLAN has actually picked up a power-up yet in this series. And it shows distance. It's a 49-23. They are literally about to close it out. I mean, MichiLAN not even hitting 25 kills possibly here. And look, yeah, 50-23. What a complete, almost a masterclass from this Fire side. Their team shot is impeccable, and you can really see their attention in actually almost trying to split spawn the side of MichiLAN, as they are so aware of where they're going to spawn up, and their attention is straight onto them. And controlling that P side and the top mid just allows you to have complete free reign over the rest of the map here. But I just glanced at the stats, and I just cannot. I think the speed at which MichiLAN needs to play, it really needs to be increased. The cycle almost gets the triple right at the beginning of that game.
Sometimes it's not just the speed, it's the decision making. When you see really good teamwork on teams, it's mainly 2 players making very smart decisions. It's not 2 players coming together and being like, okay, you go here, you go there, let's come together and let's do this at this exact moment in time. And that's just not reality. That's not the way it's going to work out. You've got to be able to make sure that you're communicating exactly what you're doing, what your shields are like, where you're looking, what you're looking to do. Are you looking to spawn kill them in blue? Are you looking to push them and go for a flank under the base? And then we just saw so many of those plays coming together and converging from San Diego Fire. They were all making intelligent plays, and they weren't hesitating. So that's where the speed came in, but at the same time, it was their decision making. They were just always making the right choices. So this is it. MichiLAN have got to come back here. This is going to be a big one. You don't want to go down early in a tournament, especially an open cup like this, where it's very volatile in the loser's bracket. You're going to have to play a lot of Halo to get out of it. These players want to place as high as possible. They want to get the wins. They're competitive players. So this game is where MichiLAN have got to come back. But immediately, the sniper is in the hands of No Shields. He's landing the shots. He's getting the cleanups. He's got a player coming after him, lands the body, not going to be able to follow through with the pistol.
I mean, No Shields did an amazing job at the start of this game. On Oddball, on Eden, red side kind of have a bit of a disadvantage at getting that OS where it is sat in the turbine area. But No Shields actually sprinted out, thrust slided, and spring jumped up so he could get into turbine before Red could even get anywhere near. And with that overshield, he ended up with the sniper, and thus able to allowing his team to get the first 15 points on the board.
And I mean, that's exactly what we've expected. The sniper does go down. It is on the ground. Precaution going to grab the oddball here, and his team is going to set up around him. You can pretty much guess the oddball is going to have the influence in blue, so there's not going to be spawns there, but No Shields going to rip off the face of Condor, and that is going to make it a much easier push to hold back. But No Shields gets, there's a double kill from Mike Fathom. His aggression really paid off right there, and that was going to be 3 dead for San Diego Fire. Even though that there was an opening snipe, they were still able to make something happen, and now they've come to life.
Yeah, they have. I feel like Oddball is a game type that will really kind of favor MichiLAN. They seem to be a team that kind of really favors the setup and the kind of team rotations. And Oddball on this map is all about that. If you can find a good setup, have a good team rotation, you have a good possibility of winning, as Voltshot gets a very good play ball. And they are now in the lead, I think, for the first time in this series. You know, whether they'll be able to ride this momentum or not, we'll only see. But, you know, we see Psych right now with an overshield. And once again, MichiLAN just not being aware of these power-ups.
Yeah, and that overshield is going to secure the oddball getting away and getting into a better position. They could have used it to do a little bit overslaying, but they chose to be objective-minded, and I like that decision because that guarantees that the oddball can get a lot extra time. Condor, though, with some big kills, double out of him, and it was able to kill the ball carrier. Can't get any bigger plays than that. So like I said, MichiLAN are able to make the plays, and they're doing well individually. They just need to come together. Hey, I've got an update here. We've got Swishball taking on Unorthodox over in Winners 2 as well. I believe there was a bye. Let me look at this. Checking things.
Swishball got a bye, and so did Unorthodox, who were to the round 2.
That's
which
right.
means they're going to face each other. But Swish is definitely going to be Swish's team is definitely going to be interesting. And that will definitely be a series we want to keep an eye out on, because Unorthodox is Bunnies, Gwenty, Sylvanik, and Tyler. All 4 players being very, very mechanically good and a very solid squad indeed.
Yeah, I mean, Swish, we've seen him time and time again on big, big teams. And we said that this was going to be Miss Audi's chance, but she unfortunately missed out on that, and they got a sub. They got Sway, who was also Beans for Lunch, if you guys remember him. He's a fantastic individual player. He's been performing very well over the years throughout Reach, throughout Halo 4, and has competed in Halo 5 ever since the beginning. He competes a lot just with the whole Top Am crew. He knows how to be with these guys.
Oh my
God! P-Caution. Where did that come from? He is stepping up his game. As soon as he saw that these players were putting up a little bit more of a fight, he was like, nah, not today.
He really needed to lay down a precaution sign with that headshot. Oh my word.
I love
Completely ripping the face off of the MichiLAN players. You know, it sat in that mid-cat, making a good structured push, and then he turns around and hits a body shot. You know, the damage that he's doing, and once again he's ended up with another overshield. Sanyo Fire, their coach is doing a fantastic job at communicating when these power-ups are coming on. Just what a headshot that was.
I mean, that was just a sit-down shot. You know, it's like, oh, you think you can just fly at me in a straight line? No, don't you dare underrate my skill and just, you know, get out of here. But this game is still super close. This could go either way. This could be the comeback momentum that MichiLAN needs, but time is ticking, and they're about to get away. Shout out to the observing there. Beautiful work out of Louis V. Titan. Oh, my God, don't lose him, Louis. Don't lose him, Louis.
Keep going, yeah, faster. Faster, faster. This is giving me anxiety. He's running away. I mean, they're moving too quick, even for the observer. I mean,
only 45 seconds to go, and this game is going to be over, and that is going to be the match in favor of San Diego Fire. They have got a good little setup going. Cycle going to be the blocker, taking down Bolt Shot. Now Piggy saying he's going to make sure to hang around the edge here because he wants to get that ball off as soon as possible. That's always your best bet. When you got 2 down, or even when you get 1 down, you need to get ready. You need to throw that ball bottom middle, or you need to throw it off the map. Either one will work, and that will take a lot more time and make it a lot more stressful for the other team. Excellent nades being landed. I'm not seeing any poor play out of these players on MichiLAN. It's just a very team-esque issue. They are not coming together when they need to. They're not focusing on the right targets. They're not focusing on the right objective. They're not focusing on the right power-ups, man. They got to get some camos and some OS to make this a more even fight, because San Diego Fire has had them all, and it shows. They have such a huge advantage in that department. If MichiLAN had those, they could definitely hang in the sleighs.
They would, and once again, We're talking about it now. San Diego Fire coming away with a no overshoot, but I completely another one exactly. MichiLAN are, all the players are making smart decisions, but they really aren't coordinating kind of that team shot. But we keep on seeing this though. 4 players pushing the exact same angle. I mean, we saw that a second ago. San Diego Fire holding that blue base, a very common spot to hold the ball, but all 4 of the players of MichiLAN pushed outside, and there was no top cap present, and that's not really the place you want to do, because it's very easily cleaned up, because then you will get outflanked. But as you see here, San Diego Fire taking this series.
That is the perfect example of showing why individual shots and the ability to slay and the ability to have great movement is just not enough. You've got to have great communication, and you've got to know the game. You've got to be able to get those power-ups and clutch up, making sure to get your team on top of the ball when it comes to those. It won't get the job done if you're too worried about all of those little intricacies of the skill game. There's so many players that want to play the skill game. I remember competing in my early days. That's what I was worried about. I was worried about, am I hitting all my shots? Am I being most effective with my jumps? Or, no. I mean, that's important, yes, at the very highest of level. But what it comes down to is making sure to be aware of your times, man. That's the most basic of Halo. And if you're not on top of that, you're going to get slapped just like this. This player takes out a player without taking any damage. That allows him to get that no scope. And then that's 2 down right there because of the sniper control. Boom. We're just seeing it left and right. The sniper was in the hands a little bit of MichiLAN players. So that was a little bit of hope. We saw hope. They played the best game in game number 3 when their backs were against the wall. So that's nice to see that they have that fight in them. Maybe they can go pretty deep in the losers bracket. But that's going to do it for our first match.